What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so we're going to be doing some upgrades to our audio system today. We did get a brand new high output alternator, but before we get started on that, I need to do a little bit of upgrading here. I want to test out the old alternator before we move on to the new one. I don't have a USB port anywhere around here. I know that the stock ones are like down here, but obviously I took them out because I wanted to lower our AC down to here to fit our iPad here, so it would fit perfectly. Otherwise it'd kind of be popping up. But unfortunately I still need to charge my phone and stuff like that, so I did pick up one of these on Amazon. I'm gonna leave a link to this in the description below if you guys want one, which is why I want to install this, so I can see what the voltage is and how much it drops with the stock alternator versus the new Mechman alternator. So let's go ahead and remove our dash. I'm gonna try to put it inside of this hole here and there, so it's nice and flush. And besides that, we also have to mount our traction control button because we never actually mounted it, so it's back here in this dash. So I'm probably going to mount it in this other side here. That way we have our traction control button here and our USB outlet here. Alright, so let's get started by first removing our dash from here. And I know a lot of you guys are new to my channel, so I do have an iPad here installed and it's all being controlled. You guys can see there's a little charger and it's all being controlled by a Pioneer radio. Obviously you can run it like this without the iPad, or if you just want to pop in the iPad, slides in, push it back in, and there it is. It's being charged now. So there we have it. This is a Soundman kit. Let's get started. I'm going to start by removing this whole dash here. Alright, so behind the radio here we do have the USB part, and this part goes over to our charger, which is behind here. There we go. This is our climate controller. Alright, so this is the button that we're going to have to mount somewhere inside that cup holder there. I'll figure it out. I'm going to remove it from here and then we'll figure out how to mount it. And then we have our plug here. Probably just going to remove it from here and hardwire it to our new adapter, because this is the stock one that comes with the truck already. Let's go ahead and take our dash out of here and work on it on our workbench. We're probably going to start with the easy part, which I had already made a hole here last time I made the dash. Just need to make a little bit larger to fit this right in there. And then we have this mounting nut here in the back. So just need to make it a little bit larger to fit this to go straight in there. And then as far as our traction control, it'd be nice if I could mount it like that somehow. But I might have to just take it apart, see where I can mount the actual button. I might Dremel this out here. Alright guys, there we have it. Nice and installed. Moving on to the next one. Let's see if there's a way we can mount it so the button is still functional. Alright guys, I'm trying to epoxy it from the back here using some of this Mobile Solutions instant adhesive with our activator, so that's our result right there. Look how clean that looks. I'll let this dry a little bit longer, and then we can go ahead and connect everything back up. Alright, while that dries, I'm going to be working inside of here to do our connections. So we do have this wire here, and we do have this one here. We're going to be using this one here. Let's cut these off. Alright guys, everything's wired up here in the back. I didn't notice that the cigarette lighters are always on, so I'm going to try to either tap into an auxiliary wire so it only turns on when I turn the truck on, or an actual switch. Alright guys, I ended up finding an accessory from here when I installed my mirror. I had wired this already. I had wired a relay from an accessory. That way we only have power when the accessory is turned on. And I also wired a fuse here, so I can go ahead and mount a fuse in case we have a short anywhere. It won't mess us up. So then we got this all taken care of here. I'll use the same ground from the cigarette lighter and then just wire this one in. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this, and then we'll test everything out. Alright guys, I ended up extending our ground. So right now, nothing's lit. I'm gonna go ahead and turn our accessory on. Alright, there we go. Alright, now that we got all this working, I'm gonna go ahead and put our traction control button back on and test it out, see if everything works, and button all this stuff up before we get started on our alternator. Alright, everything's buttoned up already. There's no space. We got this working. Let's see our traction control button. Traction control off. That works. Alright, now it's time to show you guys why I'm doing an alternator, a high output alternator. Right now we're at 14.8. There. I'm gonna go ahead and play some music. Right now the amp is at the lowest setting, all the way down. So there's no issues yet. I need to start increasing it. Alright, so you guys can see that it drops all the way down to 12 volts, and this is Mexican music. I'm gonna go ahead and put some rap music up in here. So there you guys can see that it drops down all the way to like 11 volts, and it takes a while to even go back up. I know it's because of my alternator. I'm running I think it's 2400 watts, so it's probably too much for this system. I've already done the big 3 upgrades, so that didn't help. The next thing to do is gonna be to switch out our alternator. We're going from stock to 370 amps, so that's gonna be a big difference, and that should be way more than enough to keep our system up there, you know? So let's go under the hood and start changing our alternator. This is our stock alternator here. And I know I'm gonna have to upgrade to a smaller belt, but I'm gonna use this for now and see how it runs, and then later on change it. If we start having a lot of slipping, we're gonna go ahead and change it. So this is our big 3 upgrade. I got our ground here, we got our power here, so we're just gonna get a 15mm socket and push it down, and you can see that releases the tension on the belt. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that with one hand and slip it off of here. Before I do any of that, I'm going to remove the negative side of the battery here, just to prevent any type of shorts. Alright, here's our brand new one here. And so we have, the only difference I see from this one, it looks a little bit bigger. Obviously this is a billet one. Nice and black paint job. So I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but on the back here, they inspected this part March 25th, 2020. The output at 800 at idle is 216 amps, and the output during cruising is 376. So they actually produce more than the 370. But I noticed that this one you need to attach a negative battery cable here. Hopefully I have some zero gauge so I can run it like that. Put our belt back on. It's not really that loose, but you know what? If I start having issues with this, I'm gonna replace it. Put our positive back on. Our clips right back in there. Our bolts are nice and attached there. All we need is our negative cable here. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna have to end the video there because we need to order some zero gauge wire. I'm gonna need like a good 5 feet to run it. Either probably through here down to there, to the negative battery post over there. I don't have enough, and the stock alternator for some reason doesn't have it. I think it gets grounded with the bolt here, and this one requires one up here, battery negative cable. I have 4 gauge, that's enough to run it through there, but I want to keep it the same. So I have 0 gauge here, and I want to keep it all the same, so I don't want to mix it up. So I'm going to leave it there. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned for the next video where we ground this out and test our subs. Our subs should bump a lot louder because we're going to have full voltage going to the amp. I'm excited. So here's our 370 amp Elite Series.